Hello, hello. Welcome back to Urban Yoke. This is our little homestead. My name is Julia, and it's lovely to have you here. I just wanted to show you guys what is happening or what has happened. The recent rain and continuous rain has helped the garden tremendously, as you can see in the background there. We have these beautiful sunflowers. So we had giant sunflowers in the garden, and we believed at the sorry, my brain, that the wild growing sunflower actually cross-pollinated with the giant sunflower that we had. So now we've got this giant multiflora, like flower busy growing. It's huge, it's beautiful, it's just this ray of sunshine all over, all around. I absolutely love it. It's just adorable. So that's one of the first things that's going on. Oh, fly in the air. One of the first things that is happening at the moment in the garden is everything is just busy growing tremendously. So yes, we have that sunflower busy taking up that whole patch over there. I love it. It's in front of the little shade house, greenhousey thing that we've got going there. And the tomatoes have taken off there quite intensely. I think it's actually really, really cool. Some of the tomato plants are actually getting way out of hand, and Charles is a bit like, I don't know what to do with these things. They keep growing. We don't really have space for it, but you know what? I'm loving it. It's an abundance. Last year we suffered. We hardly got anything from all the efforts that we put in. We had to change house multiple times. It was a mess. So this year, now we have an abundance of things. I'm not complaining. I am so excited about the tomatoes. In fact, I used some of the indigo pear last night for our oven-baked fish. We had king clip. It was delicious. It's all the fresh herbs. Oh, I loved it. It was just what I needed. So yes, we've got the tomatoes in the shade house that are just exquisite. They're growing, they're beautiful. I cannot wait for them to be ready and to start processing some of these gorgeous beauties. Then we have quite a few pumpkins growing. So the pumpkins in the actual shade house are not doing as well as I hoped, except for the gem squash, or the squashes, if you will. So the gem squash is doing pretty well, and the cucumber melon is going nuts. We've harvested quite a bit, and wow, I'm just taken aback, blowing a few people's minds with the cucumber melon. They're also enjoying it, and I think that with this next batch we're going to actually do a quick pickle with those. Pickles don't really last in this house, so we might as well, and I have been dying to try it for some time anyway. Okay, so the pumpkins aren't doing so great, but the ones that are growing throughout the garden are actually doing really well. The one loofah that survived has picked up greatly, and then there's a few different types of other pumpkins, which I'm not sure what they actually are because they were all volunteers, but the one I think is a red curry pumpkin, and that is exciting to me because I really like the flesh of that one, and it's the perfect size for 2 to 3 people. Yeah, even 4 people, depending on what you make. So the pumpkins are going nuts. It's awesome. Loving it. I cannot wait to harvest. Then the potatoes that are growing outside are also growing really, really well. The monkeys have come around a few times, but they haven't seemed to have stolen anything from the actual garden, which is quite nice. So they seem to be keeping their distance a little bit more now, and we've got a bit more time to gather our things, which is awesome. So we might actually get quite a few more pumpkins than I was expecting to get this year, or squashes. Love it. The zucchini was struggling a bit, but we've had a bit of a slug infestation, which we didn't do much about. We kind of just left it, and it seems that the wasps have sorted most of that out anyway. Wasps and some spiders, but mostly the wasps. There's one particular wasp that comes around, it's quite large, and it's all black. like jet black, and it collects the wasps for its little brood. Then we also have some peppers and aubergine and green beans, different types of green beans that are growing in the shade house. They're also growing really well. We have our first full harvest of green beans, so tonight I'm going to be making that for dinner along with some chard and broccoli leaves that we have harvested. Yeah, so that's actually what's happening there. What else? I can't remember right now. I'm trying to think. Oh, the lemon verbena is growing in there and it's doing really, really well. The peppers are doing really well. Yeah. Oh, yes. We also actually have garlic that we put in there at the beginning stages of the development of this little shade house. And they are looking massive. They are quite, like the leaves, the greenery is just all over the place. I'm absolutely, I, I just, I love it. I love what it looks like. And one was a bit damaged, so we pulled it out, and it looks like they're growing and developing perfectly well, perfectly happily. It's been a long time since I've actually grown garlic. I think for Shaw as well. So I imagine he, just like I am, looking forward to harvesting our first garlic and actually making some black garlic. I really love to use black garlic in food. Not for everything, because fresh garlic, it's got its place. It definitely has its place. The buttery garlicness is something very magical about that. But black garlic is just as special in my mind. So to have a bit of both and to make some with garlic that we've actually harvested ourselves, like any homesteader, that's kind of the dream. You always want to do everything yourself, the whole idea of self-sustainability. Not everything is possible. Not everyone can be totally sustainable or self-sustaining, but you can do little things and be self-sustaining in some ways, in ways that make you quite happy. So that's actually another little project, speaking about it, that is on the way. Busy working with mushroom cultures, so we're trying this route first with a dear friend or dear friends, and I hope that in a next video or a video coming up we can actually redo this process and speak a little bit about mushroom cultivation, and hopefully they'll join me in the video too. Hint hint, nudge nudge, wink wink. But anyway, yes, so that's what's happening there. Not too many varieties of things that are busy growing. Aubergines are still like flowering and we haven't seen too much fruit yet, but the Turkish orange eggplant has a few fruit on it and one has started changing color. Those ones, I have a very tough skin, but I love to roast them and just eat out the insides like you would a pumpkin, but they look like these tiny little orange pumpkins. They're just adorable. Then we also have a whole bunch of herbs in the garden that are busy just going nuts. We've got a few different types of basil, so high hope, holy basil, and then, the opal and sweet basil. We've got tarragon. The tarragon, whew, it's been going nuts. I'm absolutely loving it in the food. So we've got the tarragon growing, and we've got the pineapple sage. It's also growing. It's started flowering. Very excited to be using that for roasts again. It goes particularly well with like a pork roast, and the flowers are also edible, so I collect them for salads and whatnot. But to be honest, I collect most of my flowers for teas, like floral teas. But I do like them for salads, and I like them for garnishes because it's an edible garnish. It's nice, it's pretty, it's cute. And then the thyme is going nuts, and the chamomile went absolutely nuts. So I've reseeded for that and letting that grow. I've got a few seeds to the side if I need more. And there are some little patches of wild chamomile that are still growing, so if we do need seeds, it's going. But the jar that we have is this big. I think, it's like a quartz jar. We'll be good. A liter jar, we'll be good. We'll be good for a while. Definitely be good for a while. What else? At the moment, I guess we're struggling with the fruit chapels. There's this infestation of this small black worm that kind of looks like a caterpillar, but it burrows in the ground, keeps eating everything down. So we're busy trying to sort of, re-establish those beds before we actually use the food chapels again. But that's not too bad. I'm hoping that we'll get them done for autumn, because if we can get them done for autumn, then we can do all of our, brassicas and leafy greens, and, perhaps some alliums we can see. What else? Yeah, I mean the fennel, that sort of thing, which I'm very excited about to grow, and whatnot. But we'll get into what the autumn garden will be later on. So yeah, we're struggling with the food chapels. We've put in some clovers into them to help with the nitrogen, and we're just going to grow what we can in there at the moment and just let it cycle through a little bit, and slowly then what's the word I'm looking for? Amend. There we go. So just amend as we need to before autumn hits us. And I think when the end of summer comes, we'll do the same for the greenhouse. Just refresh the beds and, top up what needs to be topped up. So we can also do a good autumn grow in there. Here in the area that we're in, we have a pretty decent autumn period. There's still a bit of rain and there's a bit of heat, but it's quite cool. It's a good time for brassicas. They do quite well here, and things that generally grow in the foothills of mountains, considering we're on the foothill of a mountain range. So yes, yes. That is what we have happening at the moment. Things are actually growing really well. I'm most happy about this. A freaking sunflower behind me. But the tomatoes, they were a challenge in the beginning. They're growing very well now, and I love processing tomatoes and making sauce, sugi, and salsas and all sorts of things. I struggle to eat them raw still. That's something I'm learning, but I love processing them and making food, and I love making fresh pomarola when I can. So yeah, that's, I guess, that's what's happening here at the moment. Not too much to say. Oh, one last thing. We did Charles took a sucker off of the San Marzano plant, the tomato, and I decided, let me just put it in the garden, whatever, So I put it there where the avo tree was, or the avo tree is. So it was there because it had to be cut down from frost damage and then started regrowing. I was like, I'll just put it there and this can sit there for the summer, not thinking much of it. Well, I'll show you in a second, but it's become a bush, like a good old bushel. It's a good bush of tomatoes. That whole circle just looks awesome with the sweet alyssum and zinnias and marigolds and all sorts of plants, everything aloe just growing in there. And the tomatoes are actually producing. I think that one was maybe the one I was most astonished about. But yes, that's that. That's just a little update on, suffering with the food chapels, unfortunately, still. But we have all of these other pumpkins that are busy growing, and squashes that are busy growing throughout the garden. So we're actually getting quite a lot from the garden this year. I'm feeling very confident that we'll be able to harvest a lot before the monkeys get to most of it. And I'm very excited about having loofah. We haven't grown loofah before. This is the first year for growing loofah. So the one that survived, we put a lot of pressure on it, but it's doing well. And it's growing and it's taking over our laundry line, but so what? I have little laundry stands, washing clothes stands, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick little update, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!